Roman Reigns may be the tribal chief today, but behind the championships and glory lies a story of brutal pain. From shattered noses to life-threatening hernias, these are the 5 injuries that could have ended his career but only made him stronger. This is the untold story of Roman Reigns' biggest battles inside and outside the ring. Number 1. Roman Reigns vs. Seth Rollins, Night of Champions 2014 hernia injury. In 2014, Roman Reigns was on the rise, preparing to face his former Shield brother Seth Rollins at Night of Champions. Fans were excited. WWE was ready to push Roman as their next megastar, but destiny had something unexpected waiting just 24 hours before the match. For a few days, Roman had been dealing with discomfort in his lower abdomen. As a powerhouse athlete, he was used to pain, so he ignored it. But on the morning before the pay-per-view, everything went wrong. Roman collapsed with a sudden stabbing pain so intense that he could barely breathe. WWE medical staff rushed him to a Nashville hospital, where doctors discovered a life-threatening incarcerated hernia. Instead of gearing up for a pay-per-view showdown with Seth Rollins, Roman found himself being rushed into emergency surgery. His small intestine had slipped through the abdominal wall. If they waited any longer, it could have turned fatal. The tribal chief wasn't fighting Seth Rollins that night, he was fighting to protect his own life. From the hospital bed, Roman delivered a heartfelt message to the WWE Universe. His voice was weak, but his spirit was. He apologized for missing the match and promised to return stronger. This moment touched fans across the United States because it showed the human behind the warrior, vulnerable, honest, and determined. His return became a turning point. When Roman came back, he came back with fire. He pushed harder, trained harder, and set his sights on the top. The hernia injury could have ended his momentum, but instead it fueled his evolution. This wasn't just an injury. It was Roman's first real test of destiny. And he proved that even when life hits harder than any opponent, a true champion stands back up. Number 2. Roman Reigns vs. Triple H, Raw 2016 broken nose injury. The rivalry between Roman Reigns and Triple H in 2016 was one of the most intense WWE had seen in years. But on a night that was supposed to build hype toward WrestleMania 32, things took a very real and very bloody turn. During a chaotic Raw segment, Roman charged toward Triple H backstage. What happened next became one of the most brutal real injuries in Raw history. Triple H grabbed Roman and smashed his face directly into the announce table, not lightly, not safely, but with full impact. Roman's nose shattered instantly. Blood exploded everywhere. The crowd gasped. Even the commentators broke character, realizing the injury was legitimate. Roman's nose was crooked, bent at an unnatural angle, bleeding uncontrollably. The beating continued as Triple H threw punches at Roman's already broken face, making the scene look like a full-blown assault. Medics rushed Roman to the back. Doctors confirmed multiple nasal fractures and severe cartilage damage. He needed immediate reconstructive surgery, a procedure that involved resetting bones and repairing his breathing. For many wrestlers, this would mean time off, but Roman wasn't like everyone else. Just days after surgery, still swollen, still bruised, Roman showed up and continued the storyline. The US audience saw something different that night. They didn't just see a wrestler. They saw a fighter who refused to let pain break him. At WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, Roman stood in front of over 100,000 people and defeated Triple H for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. His nose may have been broken, but his drive remained unshaken. This injury wasn't a setback. It was a declaration. The tribal chief does not quit. Number 3. Roman Reigns vs. Braun Strowman, Raw 2017 Orbital bone face injury. The feud between Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman in 2017 was one of the most violent in modern WWE history. Their rivalry was built on chaos, destruction, and pure power, but one night on Raw pushed Roman's body farther than ever before. After their Fastlane match, Roman confronted Strowman backstage. Braun attacked with uncontrollable fury. He threw Roman into steel steps, slammed him into walls, and crushed him with full force. But the most dangerous moment came when Roman's face smashed against the sharp edge of the steel steps. Instantly, Roman suffered a severe orbital bone and eye socket injury. His right eye began swelling immediately. Within minutes, it turned dark purple and nearly shut completely. The pain was intense, but the beating wasn't over. Strowman dragged him to the stage and tossed him off equipment crates, making the attack one of the most brutal segments in Raw history. 1 week later, things escalated. In the now famous segment, Strowman flipped an ambulance while Roman was inside. While part of the stunt was scripted, Roman's eye injury underneath was painfully real. Despite his vision being compromised, Roman continued wrestling. He performed on live events, house shows, and PPVs, giving the audience everything he had, even though he could barely see out of one eye. Fans who once booed him began to respect him. They saw the toughness. They saw the grit. They saw a man who refused to break. This injury wasn't just physical suffering. It became proof of Roman's warrior heart. Number 4, Roman Reigns vs. Braun Strowman, Hell in a Cell 2018 shoulder injury. In 2018, Roman Reigns defended his Universal Championship against Braun Strowman inside Hell in a Cell. The match was brutal from the opening bell, chairs, tables, steel walls, and pure violence. But the most serious damage came when Roman attempted a counter and Braun slammed him down awkwardly on his shoulder. Roman immediately clutched his arm. Something was wrong. Deep tissue damage, swelling, and intense pain began spreading across his shoulder. But inside Hell in a Cell, there are no timeouts. Then chaos erupted. Brock Lesnar stormed into the arena, kicked open the cell door, and attacked both men. He smashed Roman with broken table pieces, each hit landing directly on Roman's already injured shoulder. The damage was worse than WWE revealed. Internal sources later confirmed severe inflammation and muscle strain that took weeks of recovery. Still, Roman didn't take time off. He carried the Universal Championship, attended events, and continued performing because he believed in leading from the front. This injury showed the darkest side of being champion. You must keep going even when the body screams to stop. Roman endured that night like a true warrior. And the US audience saw a champion who didn't just fight for gold. He fought through pain to stay on top. Number 5, Roman Reigns training accident 2020, knee ACL/MCL strain. During his break in 2020, Roman Reigns suffered one of the most dangerous injuries of his career, but it didn't happen in a match. It happened in training. While performing explosive leg exercises, Roman felt a sharp pop in his knee. Doctors later confirmed serious ACL/MCL strain, something that could end a wrestler's career or require surgery if mishandled. The timing couldn't be worse. Roman was preparing for his return, a return that would later transform into the legendary Tribal Chief era, but with his knee damaged, everything was at risk. Instead of panicking, Roman dedicated himself to rehab. He underwent daily physical therapy, strength rebuilding, cryotherapy, and mobility sessions. He pushed his body harder than ever, refusing to accept defeat. He wanted to come back not just strong, but unstoppable. By August 2020, Roman was ready. At SummerSlam, he returned with a new attitude, a new purpose, and a new identity, the Tribal Chief. This comeback wouldn't have been possible if the knee injury had gone wrong. This injury became the silent war behind the greatest character transformation in modern WWE. Roman didn't just heal. He evolved.